The episode opens with a deeply intense and emotionally charged environment where the character played by Danish Taimoor is seen dealing with the consequences of his past decisions as his inner conflict becomes more visible through his expressions, his silence, and his carefully chosen words, creating a powerful impact on the audience. While at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character is shown going through a roller coaster of emotions where she is trying to stay strong despite facing continuous emotional pressure and unexpected situations that are slowly breaking her from within. Yet, she refuses to give up, and this duality in her character makes her performance even more compelling and relatable for the viewers. And as the story progresses further, the presence of Ayub Khosa adds a layer of authority and seriousness to the narrative, as his character seems to influence the direction of events in a very subtle yet powerful way, making the storyline more complex and engaging, where every scene carries emotional weight and every dialogue hints at deeper meanings and hidden truths that are yet to be fully revealed. As the episode continues, the tension between the main characters starts to rise even further, and the emotional distance between Danish Taimoor and Hiba Bukhari becomes more noticeable, as both of them are struggling to express what they truly feel inside. Yet their silence speaks louder than words, creating a deeply emotional connection for the viewers who can clearly sense the pain, confusion, and unresolved feelings between them. And in several scenes, we notice how small misunderstandings begin to grow into bigger conflicts, showing how fragile relationships can become when communication breaks down. While at the same time, Ayub Khosa's character seems to observe everything from a distance, understanding more than he reveals, which adds a sense of mystery and authority to his role. And the way the scenes are directed, combined with powerful background music and emotional dialogue delivery, makes every moment feel intense and meaningful, keeping the audience fully engaged and emotionally invested in what is going to happen next in the story. As the episode continues, the tension between the main characters starts to rise even further, and the emotional distance between Danish Taimoor and Hiba Bukhari becomes more noticeable, as both of them are struggling to express what they truly feel inside. Yet their silence speaks louder than words, creating a deeply emotional connection for the viewers who can clearly sense the pain, confusion, and unresolved feelings between them. And in several scenes, we notice how small misunderstandings begin to grow into bigger conflicts, showing how fragile relationships can become when communication breaks down. While at the same time, Ayub Khosa's character seems to observe everything from a distance, understanding more than he reveals, which adds a sense of mystery and authority to his role. And the way the scenes are directed, combined with powerful background music and emotional dialogue delivery, makes every moment feel intense and meaningful, keeping the audience fully engaged and emotionally invested in what is going to happen next in the story. Moving forward, the storyline takes a slightly dramatic turn where unexpected revelations begin to surface, forcing each character to confront realities that they had been avoiding for a long time. And Danish Taimoor's character finds himself at a crossroads where he must decide whether to follow his emotions or stick to his past decisions, which creates a strong internal conflict that is beautifully portrayed through his acting. While on the other hand, Hiba Bukhari continues to show remarkable strength as she tries to handle everything on her own, even when the odds are clearly against her. And her emotional breakdown scenes are performed in such a natural and powerful way that they leave a lasting impact on the audience, making them feel her pain and struggle on a deeper level. While Ayub Khosa's character subtly pushes the narrative forward by influencing key decisions, making it clear that his presence in the story is far more significant than it initially appears. And all these elements combined make this episode extremely gripping and emotionally heavy. In the middle portion of the episode, the storytelling becomes even more layered and complex, as different subplots start to connect with the main storyline, creating a rich narrative that keeps the audience curious and engaged. And Danish Taimoor's character begins to show signs of regret and realization, as he slowly understands the consequences of his actions
and how they have affected not only his own life, but also the lives of those around him, especially Hiba Bukhari's character, who continues to suffer silently while trying to maintain her dignity and strength. And the chemistry between these two characters becomes more intense with every scene, even when they are not directly interacting with each other. And Ayub Khosa's role becomes more prominent here, as he takes certain decisions that influence the direction of the story in a major way, making it clear that he holds a significant level of control and understanding over the situation. And this part of the episode successfully builds anticipation for what is coming next.
As the episode moves further into its core, the emotional intensity reaches a whole new level, where every character is forced to confront the consequences of their choices in a very direct and unavoidable way. And Danish Taimoor's character begins to feel the weight of everything that has happened so far, as his expressions clearly reflect a mixture of regret, confusion, and emotional exhaustion that continues to grow with every passing moment. While at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character is shown standing strong despite being emotionally overwhelmed, as she tries her best to protect her self-respect and dignity, even in situations where she feels completely broken from the inside. And this contrast between emotional weakness and inner strength makes her character extremely powerful and relatable for the audience. And as the narrative unfolds, we also see how Ayub Khosa's character becomes more actively involved in shaping the direction of events, as his decisions start affecting not just one, but multiple lives connected to the story, adding a sense of seriousness and realism to the overall plot. And the way that dialogues are written in this part of the episode reflects deep emotional undertones that connect strongly with the viewers, making them feel every bit of pain, struggle, and tension experienced by the characters, while the background score perfectly complements the mood of each scene, enhancing the emotional impact and making the storytelling even more immersive. And all these elements together create a gripping experience that keeps the audience fully engaged and invested in what is going to happen next.
At this stage of the episode, the storyline begins to reveal hidden layers that were not very obvious before, and the audience starts to understand that there is much more going on beneath the surface than what is being shown directly, as Danish Taimoor's character slowly begins to realize the importance of his relationships and the emotional damage that has already been done due to misunderstandings and poor decisions. And this realization brings a noticeable change in his behavior, as he starts becoming more reflective and less reactive. While on the other hand, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to struggle internally, as she is caught between her emotions and her self-respect, trying to figure out whether she should forgive, move on, or stand her ground despite everything that has happened. And this internal conflict adds a lot of depth to her character, making her journey even more engaging and emotionally impactful. While Ayub Khosa's presence continues to add authority and control to the narrative, as he appears to be someone who understands the bigger picture and is possibly playing a long game that has not yet been fully revealed to the audience. And the direction of the scenes in this part is done in such a way that every small detail carries significance, making the viewers pay close attention to every dialogue, every expression, and every interaction between the characters, as each moment seems to be building towards something much bigger.
As the episode progresses towards its later half, the emotional stakes become even higher, and the relationships between the characters start to reach a breaking point, where decisions can no longer be delayed or avoided, and Danish Taimoor's character finds himself in a situation where he must take responsibility for his actions and face the reality that his past choices have created irreversible consequences, while Hiba Bukhari's character continues to show immense courage as she stands firm in her values, even when she is emotionally vulnerable and deeply hurt. And this strength makes her character one of the most impactful elements of the story, as viewers can connect with her pain and admire her resilience at the same time. And in between all this, Ayub Khosa's character plays a crucial role in pushing the story forward, as his decisions and actions begin to influence the final direction of the episode, making it clear that he is not just a supporting character, but a key figure in the overall narrative. And the storytelling in this part becomes more intense, more emotional, and more unpredictable,
as every scene brings new developments that keep the audience hooked and eager to see how everything will unfold in the end.
As the story continues to unfold, the emotional atmosphere becomes even heavier, and the characters are now deeply trapped in the consequences of their past decisions, as Danish Taimoor's character begins to realize that running away from reality is no longer an option, and every step he takes now must be carefully thought out, because the damage has already been done. While his expressions clearly show the inner turmoil he is facing, making his performance feel extremely real and impactful. And at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to carry a silent strength that becomes more powerful with each passing scene, as she chooses dignity over desperation, even when her heart is clearly breaking from within. And this emotional restraint adds depth to her role, making her journey even more compelling for the viewers. While Ayub Khosa's character starts to reveal more of his influence, as his presence begins to shape the direction of key moments in the episode, making it clear that he is not just observing, but actively controlling certain aspects of the story. And the way these three characters are interconnected creates a complex web of emotions, decisions, and consequences that keeps the audience fully engaged, while the background score and scene transitions further enhance the dramatic effect, making every moment feel intense and meaningful.
At this point in the episode, the narrative begins to shift towards more confrontational moments, where hidden emotions finally start to surface, and the characters are forced to face each other in ways they had been avoiding for so long. As Danish Taimoor's character reaches a stage where silence is no longer enough, and he must either speak the truth or lose everything that still holds value in his life, while his hesitation and emotional conflict are portrayed with great intensity, making the audience feel every bit of his struggle. And on the other hand, Hiba Bukhari's character stands firm in her decisions, showing that she is no longer willing to compromise on her self-respect, no matter how strong her feelings might be. And this shift in her personality adds a powerful dynamic to the storyline, making her character even more inspiring and emotionally strong. While Ayub Khosa's character subtly influences the situation by guiding events in a direction that serves a larger purpose, suggesting that there are deeper layers to the story that have yet to be revealed. And as these confrontations unfold, the tension continues to rise, making the episode more gripping and emotionally charged with every passing scene. As the episode moves forward, the emotional complexity of the storyline continues to grow, and the characters are now dealing with situations that challenge not only their relationships, but also their personal values and beliefs, as Danish Taimoor's character begins to question his own decisions and the path he has chosen, realizing that some choices cannot be undone and must be faced with courage and accountability, while his emotional vulnerability becomes more visible, allowing the audience to connect with his character on a deeper level. And at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to evolve as a strong and independent individual, as she refuses to let her emotions control her actions, even when she is deeply hurt. And this balance between emotional pain and personal strength makes her one of the most powerful characters in the story, while Ayub Khosa's character continues to maintain a sense of control and authority, as he appears to be someone who understands the bigger picture and is carefully guiding events towards a specific outcome. And the storytelling in this part becomes more intense and layered, as each scene adds new depth to the narrative, keeping the audience fully invested in the journey of the characters. As the episode continues to build its emotional depth, the storyline enters a phase where every action carries a strong consequence, and Danish Taimoor's character is now standing at a point where he can clearly see the results of his past behavior unfolding right in front of him, making him feel trapped between regret and responsibility, while his silence becomes heavier with meaning, as if every unspoken word is adding more weight to his already burdened heart. And on the other side, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to shine with her resilience, as she refuses to let circumstances define her worth, even though the emotional pain she carries is clearly visible in her expressions and body language. And this combination of vulnerability and strength makes her character deeply relatable and admirable for the viewers,
while Ayub Khosa's character slowly starts to take a more commanding position in the narrative, as his decisions begin to directly influence the outcomes of key situations, making it evident that he is playing a crucial role in shaping the future of all the characters involved. And as the scenes unfold one after another, the direction, dialogue delivery, and emotional background score work together perfectly to create an atmosphere that feels both intense and immersive, pulling the audience deeper into the story with every passing moment, and making them emotionally invested in the fate of each character.
Moving further into the episode, the tension continues to rise as relationships begin to face serious tests, and Danish Taimoor's character finds himself struggling to fix what has already been broken, realizing that some mistakes leave permanent marks that cannot simply be erased with apologies or explanations. And this realization adds a layer of maturity to his character, as he begins to understand the true value of trust and emotional connection. While Hiba Bukhari's character, despite being deeply affected by everything that has happened, chooses to maintain her composure and self-respect, showing that true strength lies in staying firm even when everything around you feels like it is falling apart. And her character becomes a symbol of emotional endurance, inspiring the audience with her quiet yet powerful presence. While Ayub Khosa's role becomes even more intriguing, as he appears to be carefully observing every detail, stepping in only when necessary, and guiding events in a way that suggests a deeper strategy behind his actions. And the storytelling at this stage becomes more layered and meaningful, as each scene adds new dimensions to the narrative, keeping the viewers fully engaged and curious about what is going to happen next.
As the episode approaches its critical moments, the emotional intensity reaches a peak where every character is pushed to their limits, and Danish Taimoor's character is now forced to confront truths that he had been avoiding for a long time, making him realize that facing reality is the only way forward, even if it comes with pain and sacrifice. While his expressions reflect a deep sense of realization mixed with regret, creating a powerful emotional connection with the audience. And at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to stand strong, proving that no matter how difficult the situation becomes, she will not compromise on her dignity or her principles. And this unwavering strength makes her character one of the most impactful elements of the story, while Ayub Khosa's character steps in at crucial moments, making decisions that significantly alter the direction of the narrative, and his presence adds a sense of authority and unpredictability to the storyline, making it clear that his role is far more significant than it initially seemed. And as the episode builds towards its climax, the pacing becomes faster, the emotions become stronger, and the stakes become higher, keeping the audience completely hooked and emotionally invested. As the episode continues to unfold with increasing emotional intensity, the narrative begins to explore deeper psychological layers within each character, especially Danish Taimoor's role, who now appears to be battling not just external circumstances, but also his own inner conflicts, as the burden of past decisions starts to weigh heavily on his conscience, forcing him to reflect on everything he once ignored. And this transformation is portrayed with remarkable depth, making his character feel more human and relatable, while on the other hand, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to maintain a delicate balance between emotional vulnerability and personal strength, as she silently processes her pain without allowing it to weaken her resolve. And her ability to remain composed in the face of emotional chaos adds a powerful dimension to her personality, making her stand out as a symbol of resilience and dignity, while Ayub Khosa's character begins to take more calculated steps, subtly influencing the direction of events in a way that suggests a deeper understanding of the situation, as if he is always one step ahead of everyone else. And this layered storytelling approach keeps the audience deeply engaged, as each scene reveals new emotional and narrative complexities that continue to build anticipation for what lies ahead. As the narrative progresses further, the storyline begins to connect multiple emotional threads, creating a more cohesive and layered experience for the viewers. And Danish Taimoor's character reaches a stage where denial is no longer possible, as he is forced to accept the reality of his actions and their consequences, leading to a shift in his behavior that reflects growth and self-awareness, while his journey becomes one of redemption and self-discovery. And on the other side, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to evolve as a strong and independent individual, as she starts to prioritize her self-worth above everything else, making decisions that reflect her inner strength and clarity, even when those decisions come with emotional pain. And this transformation makes her character even more inspiring, while Ayub Khosa's role becomes increasingly significant as he starts to play a more direct role in shaping the outcomes of key events, adding a sense of unpredictability and tension to the storyline. And the way these elements come together creates a powerful narrative that keeps the audience fully invested. As the episode moves closer to its later stages, the emotional stakes continue to rise, and the characters are now faced with situations that demand immediate decisions, leaving no room for hesitation or doubt. And Danish Taimoor's character begins to show signs of urgency as he realizes that time is running out to fix what has been broken. And this urgency adds a new layer of intensity to his performance. While Hiba Bukhari's character remains grounded in her principles, refusing to compromise her values even when the situation becomes increasingly difficult. And her strength becomes a guiding force within the narrative, inspiring not just the audience but also influencing the decisions of other characters. While Ayub Khosa's character continues to operate with a sense of calculated precision, making moves that suggest a larger plan unfolding behind the scenes. And as all these elements come together, the episode builds towards a powerful and emotionally charged progression that keeps the viewers engaged till the very end. At this stage, the episode takes a more intense turn as confrontations become unavoidable and hidden truths begin to surface, pushing the characters into situations where they must finally face reality without any filters or illusions. And Danish Taimoor's character is now forced to confront the consequences of his silence and past actions, realizing that avoiding the truth has only made things worse, while his attempts to fix everything reflect a sense of urgency mixed with emotional vulnerability, making his journey more compelling and relatable. And at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character stands firm in her beliefs, showing that strength is not just about endurance, but also about knowing when to draw the line. And her refusal to compromise her self-respect adds a powerful emotional layer to the story. While Ayub Khosa's character continues to influence the situation in subtle yet impactful ways, as his decisions begin to steer events towards a direction that suggests a larger plan unfolding behind the scenes. And the storytelling becomes more gripping with each passing moment, as every scene adds new tension, new revelations, and new emotional depth that keeps the audience fully engaged.
As the storyline continues to deepen, the emotional and psychological layers become even more intense, and Danish Taimoor's character now finds himself standing at a crossroads where every decision carries long-term consequences, making him realize that the time for hesitation has long passed and action is now inevitable. While his internal struggle becomes more visible through his expressions and body language, showing a man who is trying to rebuild himself after realizing the damage caused by his past. And this transformation gives his character a strong sense of realism and depth. While on the other hand, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to evolve with remarkable strength, as she refuses to let her emotional wounds define her future, choosing instead to rise above her circumstances and maintain her dignity in every situation. And her silent resilience becomes one of the most powerful elements of the narrative, as it reflects a strength that does not need loud expressions to be felt. While Ayub Khosa's character continues to play a strategic role, as his calculated moves begin to influence not just individual situations, but the entire direction of the story, suggesting that his involvement is far more complex and significant than it initially appeared.
And the combination of these evolving dynamics creates a narrative that feels both emotionally rich and intellectually engaging, keeping the audience deeply invested in every scene. As the storyline continues to deepen, the emotional and psychological layers become even more intense, and Danish Taimoor's character now finds himself standing at a crossroads where every decision carries long-term consequences, making him realize that the time for hesitation has long passed and action is now inevitable. While his internal struggle becomes more visible through his expressions and body language, showing a man who is trying to rebuild himself after realizing the damage caused by his past. And this transformation gives his character a strong sense of realism and depth. While on the other hand, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to evolve with remarkable strength, as she refuses to let her emotional wounds define her future, choosing instead to rise above her circumstances and maintain her dignity in every situation. And her silent resilience becomes one of the most powerful elements of the narrative, as it reflects a strength that does not need loud expressions to be felt. While Ayub Khosa's character continues to play a strategic role, as his calculated moves begin to influence not just individual situations, but the entire direction of the story, suggesting that his involvement is far more complex and significant than it initially appeared. And the combination of these evolving dynamics creates a narrative that feels both emotionally rich and intellectually engaging, keeping the audience deeply invested in every scene. As the narrative continues to build towards its peak, the emotional tension reaches a point where every interaction between the characters feels significant and loaded with meaning. And Danish Taimoor's character begins to show a deeper level of emotional awareness, as he starts to understand not just his own feelings, but also the impact of his actions on others. And this realization marks a turning point in his journey, as he begins to take responsibility in a more mature and thoughtful manner, while Hiba Bukhari's character continues to shine as a symbol of strength and resilience, as she navigates through emotional challenges with grace and determination, refusing to let her circumstances dictate her identity. And her character becomes a source of inspiration within the story, while Ayub Khosa's presence continues to add a layer of authority and unpredictability, as his actions suggest that he is carefully guiding events towards a specific outcome, making the audience curious about his true intentions. And as all these elements come together, the episode becomes more engaging, more emotional, and more intense, drawing the viewers deeper into the story. Moving further into the episode, the storyline begins to connect multiple emotional arcs, creating a more cohesive and layered narrative that keeps the audience fully invested. And Danish Taimoor's character now appears more focused and determined, as he begins to take concrete steps towards correcting his mistakes, showing a clear shift from confusion to clarity, while his journey reflects the importance of self-awareness and accountability. And at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to maintain her emotional strength, as she refuses to let her past define her future, choosing instead to move forward with confidence and self-respect. And this growth makes her character even more impactful and relatable, while Ayub Khosa's character continues to play a crucial role in shaping the direction of events, as his decisions begin to have a direct impact on the outcome of key situations, adding a sense of urgency and unpredictability to the narrative. And the combination of these elements creates a powerful storytelling experience that keeps the audience engaged from start to finish. As the episode moves closer to its final phase, the emotional weight of the story becomes even more intense, and every character is now standing at a point where their decisions will define not only their present, but also their future. And Danish Taimoor's character begins to fully accept the consequences of his past actions, showing a level of maturity and emotional growth that was not visible earlier, as he finally realizes that true strength lies in taking responsibility rather than avoiding it. And this realization brings a noticeable change in his attitude, making his character more grounded and relatable, while Hiba Bukhari's character continues to carry herself with dignity and grace, as she refuses to let pain weaken her resolve, and her calm yet powerful presence adds a strong emotional depth to the narrative, while Ayub Khosa's character continues to influence events in a subtle yet impactful manner, as his decisions begin to align with a larger vision that is slowly becoming clearer to the audience. And the storytelling in this part becomes more refined and emotionally charged, as each scene contributes to building a powerful and meaningful progression towards the climax. At this stage, the episode begins to tie together various emotional threads, creating a sense of continuity and purpose within the narrative, and Danish Taimoor's character now appears more focused and determined as he takes active steps to make things right, showing that he is no longer the same person who once avoided responsibility, while his journey reflects a deeper understanding of relationships and the importance of trust. And at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to demonstrate her strength and independence, as she refuses to compromise on her values, even when faced with emotional challenges. And this consistency in her character makes her one of the strongest elements of the story, while Ayub Khosa's character continues to play a pivotal role, as his presence adds a sense of authority and direction to the narrative, making it clear that his decisions are shaping the outcome of the story in significant ways. And as these elements come together, the episode becomes more engaging and emotionally satisfying. As the storyline approaches its climax, the emotional intensity reaches its highest point, and the characters are now faced with situations that demand immediate and decisive action, leaving no room for hesitation or doubt. And Danish Taimoor's character finally steps forward with a sense of clarity and purpose, showing that he is ready to face whatever comes next, while his transformation becomes one of the most compelling aspects of the episode. And on the other hand, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to stand strong, proving that true resilience lies in staying true to oneself, even in the most difficult circumstances. And her character becomes a symbol of strength and empowerment, while Ayub Khosa's character continues to guide the narrative towards its final outcome, as his decisions begin to reveal the larger picture behind the events that have unfolded, and the storytelling becomes more intense and emotionally engaging, keeping the audience fully invested in the final moments of the episode.
As the climax unfolds, the narrative reaches a turning point where the true essence of each character is revealed, and Danish Taimoor's character demonstrates a newfound sense of responsibility and courage as he faces the consequences of his actions head-on, showing that growth often comes through struggle and self-realization, while Hiba Bukhari's character continues to embody strength and dignity, as she remains firm in her beliefs and refuses to let external pressures dictate her choices, and her character serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of self-respect and emotional resilience. While Ayub Khosa's character plays a crucial role in bringing the story to its climax, as his actions begin to shape the final outcome in a significant way. And the combination of strong performances, emotional storytelling, and impactful direction makes this part of the episode particularly memorable and engaging. As the episode begins to move towards its conclusion, the emotional journey of the characters becomes more evident, and Danish Taimoor's character reflects on everything he has experienced, showing a deeper understanding of his actions and their consequences, while his journey becomes one of redemption and self-discovery. And at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to inspire with her strength and determination as she navigates through emotional challenges with grace and confidence, refusing to let her past define her future. While Ayub Khosa's character continues to influence the narrative in meaningful ways, as his decisions help bring clarity and direction to the story. And the overall progression of the episode feels both satisfying and emotionally impactful. At this point, the story begins to slow down slightly, allowing the audience to fully absorb the emotional impact of everything that has happened, and Danish Taimoor's character appears more composed and self-aware as he reflects on his journey and the lessons he has learned, while Hiba Bukhari's character continues to maintain her strength and dignity, showing that true growth comes from staying true to oneself, even in the face of adversity. And Ayub Khosa's character continues to provide a sense of stability and direction, as his presence ensures that the narrative remains grounded and meaningful.
and the overall tone of the episode becomes more reflective and emotionally satisfying.
As the episode nears its final moments, the narrative focuses on the emotional resolution of the characters, and Danish Taimoor's character begins to find a sense of closure as he comes to terms with his past and looks towards the future with a renewed sense of purpose, while Hiba Bukhari's character continues to stand as a symbol of strength and resilience, showing that true power lies in self-respect and emotional independence. And Ayub Khosa's character continues to play a guiding role, ensuring that the story reaches a meaningful and impactful conclusion. At this stage, the episode delivers a strong emotional impact as the characters reach a point of understanding and acceptance, and Danish Taimoor's character demonstrates growth and maturity, while Hiba Bukhari's character continues to inspire with her unwavering strength. And Ayub Khosa's character ensures that the narrative remains balanced and impactful, creating a satisfying conclusion for the audience. As the story begins to conclude, the emotional arcs of the characters start to come full circle, creating a sense of completion and understanding that resonates strongly with the audience. And Danish Taimoor's character reflects on everything he has experienced, showing a deeper awareness of his journey and the lessons he has learned along the way, while his growth becomes evident in the way he approaches situations with patience and responsibility. And at the same time, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to embody strength and resilience as she moves forward with confidence and clarity, refusing to let her past define her future, while Ayub Khosa's character ensures that the narrative maintains its balance and direction, as his presence adds a sense of stability and purpose to the story. And the overall conclusion feels both satisfying and emotionally impactful. As the final moments of the episode unfold, the narrative shifts towards emotional resolution, allowing the audience to fully absorb the journey that the characters have undergone. And Danish Taimoor's character appears more at peace with himself as he accepts his past and looks towards the future with hope and determination, while Hiba Bukhari's character continues to stand as a symbol of inner strength as she embraces her journey and moves forward with confidence. And Ayub Khosa's character remains a steady presence, ensuring that the story reaches its conclusion in a meaningful and impactful way, and the overall tone becomes more reflective and emotionally satisfying. As the episode comes closer to its final conclusion, the emotional intensity gradually settles, leaving behind a strong message about growth, responsibility, and resilience. And the performances of Danish Taimoor, Hiba Bukhari, and Ayub Khosa continue to leave a lasting impression on the audience, making this episode a memorable experience, while the storytelling successfully balances emotional depth with narrative progression. As the episode continues to unfold with increasing emotional intensity, the narrative begins to explore deeper psychological layers within each character, especially Danish Taimoor's role, who now appears to be battling not just external circumstances, but also his own inner conflicts, as the burden of past decisions starts to weigh heavily on his conscience, forcing him to reflect on everything he once ignored. And this transformation is portrayed with remarkable depth, making his character feel more human and relatable, while on the other hand, Hiba Bukhari's character continues to maintain a delicate balance between emotional vulnerability and personal strength, as she silently processes her pain without allowing it to weaken her resolve. And her ability to remain composed in the face of emotional chaos adds a powerful dimension to her personality, making her stand out as a symbol of resilience and dignity, while Ayub Khosa's character begins to take more calculated steps, subtly influencing the direction of events in a way that suggests a deeper understanding of the situation, as if he is always one step ahead of everyone else. And this layered storytelling approach keeps the audience deeply engaged, as each scene reveals new emotional and narrative complexities that continue to build anticipation for what lies ahead. Bukhari's character continues to maintain her strength and dignity, showing that true growth comes from staying true to oneself, even in the face of adversity.